you. How many of you have ever heard of SeaWorld? How many of you have ever watched the documentary Blackfish or have seen other negative publicity of having to do with SeaWorld? Yeah, me too. Have you ever taken the time to fact check the false press or read up on orca whales? They seem to be a hot topic when discussing SeaWorld. Or have you found out what SeaWorld actually does or visited a park? Because I have. SeaWorld is a wonderful organization with a wonderful mission. They save tons of lives and help teach others about all kinds of species of animals. I have gone to SeaWorld at least 15 times, maybe more in my 25 years. I'm obsessed with all things orca whale. I read anything I can about SeaWorld, good and bad. And been to some of the park's newer shows that teach you how they care for the animals, care for the whales and other animals. My purpose here today is to help show you that SeaWorld is awesome. They save lives and help when others can't. But with all the negative press and activist groups, they could be in danger of having to scale back on rescues, or the worst, the parks and foundations close. I'm here to present facts about the animals they save and the laws they follow in order to rescue and release wildlife. They need help to spread positive press so that people will visit and donate so that they may keep up their rescue, rehabilitating, and studying marine life. Without the support of others, SeaWorld would not be able to save all the animals that they do. In an article on SeaWorld's website, they say none of this would be possible without the continued support of our partner agencies, park guests, past members, and dedicated ambassadors. With the help of all those mentioned above, SeaWorld states that they have helped rescue more than 34,000 sick, injured, or orphaned animals. Those who are against SeaWorld may say they only rescue animals for profit or so they can keep them in their parks. But according to several sources, SeaWorld is federally regulated. When a rescue situation is called into the NOAA, which stands for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, they reach out to who they believe is the best fit or closest for each specific case. They then can request that the animal be released or relocated to another facility for treatment. If it is determined that the animal needs rehabilitation, a facility such as SeaWorld would rehabilitate said animal. If and when the animal is healthy, it is reevaluated by the NOAA, and they determine if the animal can be released, and if it cannot, SeaWorld will provide lifelong care. SeaWorld volunteers to take these animals. They are not compensated, but still pay for vets, rescuers, employees, habitats, and all things needed to care for the animals. Some of you still may be skeptical. I bet you're thinking, okay, I get it. They rescue animals, but what else do they really do? SeaWorld uses their ticket sales to help fund other conservation programs as well. So not only are they working to save hurt animals, they are working to conserve and research marine wildlife along with birds and other animals. According to SeaWorld's website, they have pledged $10 million to fund research and conservation for killer whales. They continue to support the Killer Whale Research and Conservation Program that is led by the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. They also conduct scientific research at SeaWorld, which is carried out by different universities and zoos. They publish their research so that other scientists and facilities can learn from the animals they have in their care. Just think, by purchasing one ticket to SeaWorld, you have played a small part in their giant mission. With negative press like the movie Blackfish and all the false claims they make, it is hard for people to decipher or know what it is SeaWorld truly does. This obviously could negatively impact their desire and resources to rescue. If more people tried to understand or took the time to visit a park like I have, they could learn a thing or two. On one of my last visits to SeaWorld, I signed up for an experience called Dine with Shamu. This got me a meal and a really close showing of 3 pilot whales that had been rescued from being stranded on a beach. But most importantly, it got the visitors who paid for this upgrade an up-close and personal experience with some of the killer whales. The staff showed us how they draw the orca's blood to make sure they are healthy. They showed us how they collect urine samples. They also explained that the commands or tricks that some of the activist groups and others claim are inhumane are things that the whales would do naturally in the wild. They breach the water in the wild. They make all kinds of crazy noises in the wild. They may not give urine samples or blood samples in the wild, but the commands they are taught to roll over or turn on their side so these procedures can be performed don't hurt them. They are taught these things so the staff can make sure that they are healthy. I'm sure you all have a dog or a cat or even a kid. They do what they want, just like these animals in these parks. They do these things for rewards and because they want to, not because they're tortured. I have been to many of the SeaWorld shows, and even some of the whales didn't do their jump on their cue, and not once did I ever see them punished. I saw them get a hug or a rub or some ice. I just wish more people had an open mind and actually visited or saw the places, the shows, or these beautiful creatures. In conclusion, I just want to say, if you've ever been to SeaWorld and saw one of these magnificent animals jump out of the water or come swim by the glass, you know it's magical. These animals have lived at SeaWorld their whole life, and some of the others have just come there and will be released. But either way, SeaWorld is providing a service to these animals that others cannot. I don't know about you, but I don't have space for a few orcas, some manatees, dolphins, and pilot whales in my backyard, or the funds to take care of them and make sure they're healthy. What I do have, though, and most of you have, is enough money to visit a park or read and research all the good that SeaWorld does. Are there some negatives to SeaWorld? Yes, I'm sure there are, but I think there's a lot more good going on at the parks than people realize. I hope that I have shed some light on SeaWorld and I taught you something, whether it be that they're self-funded and volunteer to take on these animals, or that they are regulated and just don't get to keep whatever animal is going to make them money, or that the animals are taught cues and tricks to help them get exercise and exhibit some of the behaviors they do in the wild. I believe that SeaWorld cares deeply for the animals they have in their possession, and I hope all of you believe that as well. The next time you're close to a SeaWorld location or planning a vacation, buy a ticket. Go visit a facility. See with your own eyes these wonderful animals. I promise you, you will not be disappointed.